Like peace to the brethren. Yeah, it looked like everybody. Nope.
I could have sworn I was talking to everybody in the background. I thought you had like maybe, you know, some added new feature.
Nah, that's just an old one. I'm playing on this on here. Um, yeah.
Cool.
How's the weather there?
Actually pretty nice. It's in the 70s. It's been like high 90s all week, man. So
Really?
it's a blessing. Yeah, it's a blessing to get some 70s, 69. A little chilly, but I'll take it.
Heck yeah.
Beats the heat, man.
Heck yeah, I'll take that heat over that cold any day. Any day.
I don't know. I find it easier to warm up than it is to cool down.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's so much easier to just put on some covers and warm up. But when it's time to cool down, it's like you can't get no further than naked, man. Ain't nothing else ain't nothing else you could do.
Yeah, but I just look at like, I mean, everybody had their preference, so it ain't like it's a wrong answer or anything. But I just hate, first of all, I hate the snow. I hate driving in the snow. I hate, the things that come along with cold weather. I'd much rather it be 100 degrees than even 30 degrees. Yeah, I can't stand it. So I'm in a region of the country where, we've had mild winters recently in the last maybe about 5 years or so. But I'd much rather it be super hot. I remember, and the air quality where I'm at too, because of these mills, is horrible. And because I can remember I was not feeling too well as far as my breathing. This was like 2 summers ago. I went to Texas, went to Houston. And I'm like, man, I don't know what it is, man. As soon as I got in the airport, walked out the airport in Houston, my breathing was better. Yeah, my breathing was better.
Wow.
Yeah, it cleared up immediately. So, yeah, I can't stand it. Can't stand this cold weather, man. What's up, Deontay? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey there. Happy to be on.
Peace to you, brother. How you feeling?
Good. Doing all right.
That's a blessing.
Yeah.
That's a blessing.
Doing all right?
Yes, sir. Happy to have you on. Yep. Doing all right. Waiting for the few more brothers to come in. They trickling in now. What's up, brother Joseph? How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good. Any day now, huh?
Well, no, probably at least another month, hopefully.
Right, hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you never know. It could be early.
Yeah. That's good. Yep. Brother Elbert, how you do? Oh, he not on yet. Hold on. Is he on? I see him. I'm coming on. Okay, he's connecting. Yeah, computer's moving slow. How's the weather? Watch this. How's the weather in Florida?
I heard y'all talking about the weather. Yeah, it's pretty warm.
Yeah, sir.
It's getting into like 95s and stuff.
Yeah. Here it was 84, and I was like, ooh, it's warming up. He like, yeah, it's 95. It's about 95. Yeah.
It isn't really the heat that's so bad, it's the humidity.
Yeah. That makes a huge difference. The type of heat makes a huge difference.
Yes.
Yeah. When it gets hot here, it's like I could deal with it, but it's like kind of like I said, I like the heat better, but it's like almost like it's not like a dry heat at all. It's like more like a humid. Yeah. Even though it's not like Florida, it's still like humid when it gets that hot.
Right.
Yeah, that dry heat it's a different feel.
Yeah, the thing is, here when I go outside, I start perspiring almost, within minutes.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was in California, it was 107 degrees, and I rode my bicycle up a mountain, and it took me like 7 hours. When I got to the top, the lady says, "I saw you a couple of hours ago. Son, don't you realize it's 107 degrees out here?" I did not even know it. It was a
different heat.
It was a dry heat. I had no clue.
Yeah. You know, like Arizona, that's a different. Like you said, California, that's different. It's different. Peace to you, brother Albert. How you doing? Can you hear me? Oh, I think he's frozen. Can you hear me, brother? Brother Albert, can you hear me?
No, I'm froze, bro.
Oh, okay. I hear you now.
Oh, okay.
You might, let's see, say something now.
Hello.
Yeah, you know what? You kind of like pause. You might want to.
I'll go out and try it again.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, that might help. Brother Khalil, how you doing?
I'm good. What about yourself?
Doing well, my brother. Doing well. Doing well.
These cicadas killing me.
Cicadas. Hey man, I just saw that. The cicadas are like a coming through like
The plague.
like the locusts in Egypt.
Oh my gosh, man. I was walking into work yesterday and I thought my collar came up. So until I heard this like clicking noise in my ear, and I'm like, that ain't right. So I reached back and I felt it fluttering in my hand, and I threw it. The mug started making that weird loud noise. I was like, oh,
yeah. I saw it's supposed to be like a huge like storm of cicadas.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
That area.
I mean, they're everywhere.
Wow. But that was like, a few months ago, it was like that they weren't cicadas, they were literal locusts. Was that in Ethiopia?
Yeah, yep.
Man, and just to see all the land covered with locusts, just eating everything. And they gave the people, the farmers, spray, and they were like, this is stupid. We're gonna spray. We can't, it's too many.
Yep.
There's nothing you can do. So man,
you gotta take it.
Yeah, wow. So is there any dangers to the environment or anything? Just gotta let it pass, huh?
Yeah, you just gotta let it pass. To be honest, they're more of a danger to themselves than they are anybody else. They carry this fungus, and what this fungus does is it eats away at their flesh, but at the same time it releases the same whatever the drug is in shrooms. So they'll be getting eaten alive, not even knowing it, and still trying to mate, and then pass it on to another one.
Man, that's something, man. Nature's something, boy. God is something. Yeah. You passing on a fungus, still trying to mate. That sounds like human beings. Cicadas in the clinic. Yeah, let me get that fungus. let me get that fungus medication from the pharmacy. Yeah, man. Man, that's something. Yeah, what's up, brother Austin? How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you a little bit.
I'm doing pretty good. I'm sorry about that. I'm at this gym right now, getting a little bit of work in. I've been sitting all day, so.
So you lifting, or you trying to lift?
I was doing some pull-ups.
Some pull-ups.
Yep.
Sound like a young man's activity.
Gotta get that bag, man. Gotta hear.
Oh, you got a weight vest on too?
Yep.
I don't believe you that strong.
Huh?
I don't believe you that strong to pull your own weight and some more weight.
I could do it while I'm on the phone. One hand.
You're just showing off.
I'm swearing.
One hand, huh? On the phone. Hey man, yeah, pull-ups. Hey, that'll get that V shape. You know, that'll get you right. That's really what you pull-ups, dips, push-ups. Man, that's really all you need. Sit-ups. That's all you need. Was a Herschel Walker used to do like 1,000 push-ups a day? He didn't even lift weights.
And only ate 1 meal a day.
Yeah. Caloric restriction. Yeah, because I heard stories and seeing guys coming out of been incarcerated and coming out, and you like, man, you on steroids? You're like, no, man, I was eating
man, take your time, man.
tuna and stuff from commissary. you know, junk food sometimes, but they just the workout, the reps and all that. Yeah. So anyway. Yeah.
My bad. I'm sorry. I know I ain't like
Yeah, let me mute you real quick. No, I'm joking. I'm just joking. Hey, he's trying to show off, man. He's trying to show off. Like I'm younger than y'all. Watch me do these dips. All right. Well, nevertheless, we can go ahead and get started. And just some, and again, if you got some current events that came to mind, did you guys or you brethren see the shots at the shop by Biden? He has an initiative. The Biden administration has an initiative to vaccinate Black people. He said Black and brown. We talking about Black people. I think he's talking about dark-skinned Black people and lighter-skinned Black people when we say Black and brown. I know it's supposed to include everybody, you know, Latinos and everything, but I think he's speaking directly to Black people and having them be vaccinated in the barbershop and in the beauty salon. Did y'all hear? Y'all didn't hear that at all?
Yeah, I hear they trying everything. Get a beer, get a donut.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I one thing that struck me, I have locks. I haven't been in a barbershop in a while.
Right.
But you know, I haven't been in a barbershop in a long time. Probably almost 2 decades.
Is that really a meeting place, like they say on TV? And okay.
What's that?
Well, I'm just saying, a lot of like on that movie, The Barbershop, and I keep seeing all these different programs where they're saying that is the center of the community now. Brother Willie agreed.
Historically, it has been. You had the church and you had the barbershop and the beauty salon.
Yeah. I didn't know the barbershop was really that.
Yeah. Because, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I used to work in the barbershop. I actually cut hair still on the side personally here. But yeah, that's a major hangout for people, man. It's one of those little private areas where, you know, you have your customers, but you also have like family, friends, you know, a lot of drinking and smoking and things went on in the barbershop, especially after hours, you know, things of that nature. It's just more so a small environment, you know, mainly people coming there who, it was like Cheers, the show Cheers, you know, it would be like the pub, that was the Black man's pub, was the barbershop. People would come and they talk their mess. And, you know, sometimes mess happened in the barbershop. You know,
yeah,
that was,
yeah.
You know,
I was just gonna say that, and that's one of the last places where you had gender spaces. Like you had female, mostly men. I mean, for the most part, women could speak openly and freely about their issues and about things they wanted to talk about without men being there. And men could do that in the barbershop as well.
Exactly.
That's what I saw in the barbershop. And like you said, it was free to speak. You know, they spoke freely, and you hear some, you know, you hear a lot of things there. And then I think, you know, a barber, like if you stay with a barber a long time, you sitting there talking, barbers listen.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying going to the barbershop is therapy, but on one instance, you come out, you feeling better because you got a fresh cut. And number two, if you got a good relationship with your barber, a lot of times what'll keep you coming back is being able to talk.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's just my opinion on it.
Absolutely, you're right about that.
But I found it to be and I wish Brother Isaiah was on here because I was gonna ask him about that, because I don't know about you, but the barbershop doesn't seem like the greatest place to get any medical attention. It doesn't seem clean. Right. Even the cleanest barbershop is not clean. And I wanted to show this. Let me find it. You know, the article that I was reading, and it showed a barbershop and the brother. He's coming off work. It looked like he had he's doing a job that's physical, labor intensive. So his work clothes are dirty. He's sitting in a chair that had, you know, it's a barber's chair, so it's beat up. You know, the place is not, it looks like a barbershop. I'm like, how are you giving vaccines with hair follicles floating everywhere? No, it just didn't seem very hygienic to me, but I don't know what you brothers think about that.
Definitely not hygienic. But
heck no.
One of the things I see a lot of times they're struggling with our community is trying to get us to participate. Not only that, but in our own children's education. We used to have to give away pizzas and stuff to get parents to come to the PTA meetings. So maybe he's approaching it from that aspect. It's like you got to take it right to people's front door, or bribe them to
yeah, but I understand what you're saying. But again, this is one of those things where whatever you want to say, this is an experiment.
Oh, I'm not arguing that. No, I'm just talking about the reason why he's approaching it at the barbershop.
I think he's approaching it this way because of the way in which he thinks of Black people.
Mm-hmm.
The same way you would, if we have a lot of Black scholars, right? You know, we have some Black scholars in academia that know issues. Great Black scholars on both ends of the spectrum. Oh, for example, you got Thomas Sowell on one end of the spectrum, who's a tremendous economist, and you got a guy like Cornel West, who's on the opposite end of the spectrum, a great scholar. You have these great scholars, but then you want to, here he is right now, right on cue. Then you want to talk to Cardi B.
That was just trolling for votes.
That's patronizing, but that's like you're insulting intelligence. You say, well, these people, you know, he even did the Latino community like that when he came out and he was playing some Latin music. He came out to talk to him. I'm like, man, what's the issues? What are you going to do? I don't care about. I'm talking about he listen. You know, good and doggone well, you have to listen to Frank Sinatra. You are not listening to no Cardi B.
Well, I agree with you. Most people aren't issue voters though. They go on feeling, because when you talk to a Donald Trump supporter, they go by feelings. And the same thing with a lot of people, when you ask them specifically why they voted for Obama, they would say that he was attractive or stuff like that instead of digging down in the issues. A lot of people don't dig into the issues. It's how somebody makes them feel.
Cardi B.
Oh, I'm not arguing with you about Cardi B, but Cardi B has an audience.
She has about 70 million followers.
And they're not intelligent people.
Like what's that, bro?
I said they're not intelligent because I ain't gonna listen to nothing that comes out of Cardi B's mouth. But 70 million people will.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah.
That's sad.
You know, they going for what's easy. You know.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah. That kind of remind me of the who said it? Hillary Clinton with the
hot sauce.
The hot sauce.
I always carry. She was on the Breakfast Club. You know, I always carry hot sauce in my bag.
Yeah.
She said in her purse, she always carry hot sauce. I'm like, man, you want to say something? It's like, man, you are being so disrespectful right now.
But Minister, I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
No, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Minister, I was at a meeting probably 25 years ago at a church, meeting candidates. And the white candidates came in and we was trailing them on their ideas and programs. And the Black politicians came in and it was like they was preaching. And the one thing that insulted me most was the Black candidates. One of them said, they talking about cutting welfare. He said, that's y'all's money. And the whole crowd erupted. And I was insulted. Because I said, I don't want to hear about that. I want to hear how you're going to bring jobs back to the community.
What's your politics? Yeah.
Right. But see, that's what I'm saying. Our people, I shouldn't just say our people, most voters don't dig that deep. They just go on emotions. But
that's a good point you're making, brother. I mean, it's hard to argue against them being emotional. But it's still like it's insulting. But I understand.
Definitely.
I understand because even Obama will preach.
Right.
Obama would sit there and sing Al Green.
Yeah. An Amazing Grace.
An Amazing Grace. I'm like, wait a minute, man.
Right.
When
he cut the Parent Plus loans, that's when the HBCUs
They were about to sue him
because he cut that money, and you know. But anyway,
they were about to sue him, the HBCUs, because he was. I mean, they were just struggling, and then they went to Trump and got the money.
We went to Trump and got the money. So that's what I
went to Trump and got the money.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's but people don't, you know.
But you go, I noticed you brothers read a lot and go into detail. A lot of people don't go into details. They're headline readers. You know?
Yeah. Well, so much information. I always tell young people, you know, that's the problem of the day. One of many. But how do you decipher through all of this information? Because there's so much bad information, so much useless information. And you're just being bombarded with messages from, if you can't look at anything on the internet without all these ads popping up. It's ads everywhere you go. There's messages everywhere. It's a lot of propaganda. So the thing is, in addition to that, you're educated and you're not being educated in a proper way to be critical thinkers, to think your way through the BS.
Mm-hmm.
You're just being indoctrinated. Yep. You know, where you go to college campuses full of indoctrination. Mm-hmm. And the higher you go, the more indoctrination you get. Because oftentimes these professors are reproducing themselves through their students, to be Marxist, to be socialist, etc. But it's hard to argue what you're saying as far as just being emotional, because I've been in, you know, growing up, you know, come to a church and you know, Christian church, so-called Christian church, and then see a politician in there. You see him every 4 years, however many years, you know, he's gonna get, you know, when he's up for election.
Well, the thing that kind me, one of the things that got me the most was when people were saying that Bill Clinton was the first black president.
Yes, because he played the saxophone on Arsenio Hall. I was watching it live when he did it.
And because he smoked weed and played the saxophone.
But they made him a black. That was, you know, that came later. But when he was playing that sax on Arsenio Hall, man, black people said, man, that's it. And he understood black people. Man, he was a master politician.
Man, that dude could turn on the empathy like it wasn't nothing. I feel your pain. I remember he did that at a debate when Bush couldn't talk about how much milk costs. Yeah. And they asked him how much was a gallon of milk. All right, I'm telling too old. All right, I went back too far for the fellas. I'm sorry.
You good? Go ahead. Finish your story, bro.
Back in '92, when Clinton was running against Bush, the first Bush.
Yeah.
They asked him about, because you know prices were going up, and they asked the first Bush how much was a gallon of milk, and he was like, I don't know. And Bill Clinton stood up and walked up to the lady, almost put tears in his eyes, and said, "I feel your pain." And then he was in love with him. So
yeah, he was a master politician.
Yes.
He was a masterful politician. President Obama was a masterful politician.
He could turn it on.
Yeah. Even Donald Trump, the way in which people say, oh, they think he's dumb because of how he's speaking. No, he's speaking in a way to which you can understand because you're not bright.
To his voters, right?
Yes, that's how he's speaking to. So how he phrases his words, he's a master at that. He manipulates the media. They be like, man, they have very disparaging words for him as far as his intelligence. I'm like, if he's an idiot, what are we?
Mm-hmm.
The man is not an idiot.
No, not an idiot.
I don't believe he's an idiot.
No,
He's a different breed.
Yeah, he's savvy. I think he's savvy.
Yeah, but President Obama, his thing, he could go, he's like a chameleon. He can go on South Side Chicago, and he can go to speak at Yale, his diverse upbringing and experiences. And you know, I've seen him with some, you know, dap up people, you know, y'all want to see him shoot a jumper like he black, he grew up in Indonesia and Hawaii. He don't have it. Yeah, you got totally different in Kansas, you got totally different experiences than him. His father's from Kenya, was from Kenya.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like Carmelo.
He went to Harvard. Like you can't, you know. And but anyway, brother Isaiah, You there, brother?
Peace, brother. Peace. Sorry
Peace.
about the late.
No, you good, brother. Hey, quick question. We started off talking about Biden's initiative to give vaccines in black barbershops and beauty salons across the country. About 1,000 of them across the country. Now, what I know about barbershops and being in barbershops growing up, you know, when I still had a taper or a fade.
That's our internet.
What's that?
The barbershop is our internet. Our original internet.
Yeah, right. That's what we were saying. But is that hygienic?
No.
I didn't think so.
No. It should be in a clean place. Not that the barbershop is not clean. It should be in a clean place because you don't know what you're touching, right? You don't know what the nurse might touch with a glove, even if she changed her glove. You know, that's why you see when, like, if you go in the supermarket and you see somebody using glove to catch your stuff because of COVID, it's actually more dangerous than using the hands and washing the hands every time. So
right. Okay.
So no. They're just using that as politics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is politics because they know. You there, brother?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that is to play on us as usual.
Right. This is from USA Today. Can you brother see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you see this brother. It says this brother's receiving a COVID-19 vaccination at the Shop Spa Barbershop and Salon in Hyattsville, Maryland, on his way home from work. Now, the brother clearly has a labor-intensive job. You see the chair. You see the surroundings. You see what I'm saying?
It has something, right? Some people, when they get injection, they have a reaction called vasovagal reaction, right? It's something to do with the vagal nerve and needles, right? And some people will faint, right? And you need to monitor them and all that stuff. They don't have the equipment in there. I am not sure they're gonna walk with it, right? In case an emergency, an allergic reaction, I doubt they would walk in there. But you know, you had to really like make sure, or people had to be sure that it should be in a van outside the barbershop, if they're trying to approach.
Yeah, and I'm not down in the business of obviously the barbershop. I don't want to be misconstrued, you know, and bringing it up. But I'm just like, man, come on, man. I just know what a barbershop is.
But I saw an article this week where they're saying blacks not taking it.
Right.
They're having problems with the blacks, so that's one the approach, right?
The propaganda is real when it comes to black people and taking it. They really want black people to take it. I can't say for sure, but I think the reasons go far and beyond just getting a vaccine. I think they need to know what happens when black people take it, to be honest. That's my personal opinion. I don't know what you brothers think about that.
Well, my shoulder was sore.
What's that?
I had a headache after the second one.
Yeah, there's a name for that headache. I'll have to come back for you with the second one. I see a lot of people getting the headache. I think it's something with a thrombus or something, like a clot. But I'll have to come back to you with that headache, the exact name of the condition.
I know, and I know I've seen some other people.
I see a colleague of mine last for a week with that headache.
Oh, well,
after the second shot.
Mine lasts for a day. Like a tension headache almost.
Yeah.
Then I know I met a couple people. They said they was down for like 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that wasn't a fair trade. They were down, like, you know, like they had the flu. Temperature going up and down, sweating. I was like, oh, so I don't know.
But isn't that somewhat part of the whole purpose of you getting the vaccine, is that they shoot some of like a small amount of COVID in you so you could build the antibody. So symptomatically, you're supposed to have these symptoms in order for you to, it to run its course. And for, right, so you could fight it off the next time your body come into contact with it. So basically, most of the people that I've come in contact with on my job who's been vaccinated, they've all had very similar symptoms as I had, and I had full-blown COVID.
You talking about the down and the temperature and all
everything. The chills, right. The headaches, the sweats, the cold sweats, the temperature going all the way up. I mean, it was like they were giving COVID. But we understand they do have to give you a small amount of it in order for your body to build up the antidote for it. So yeah,
I don't know if that's actually, I don't think that's, well, again, disclaimer, I don't know if that's accurate as far as this shot. I don't think it functions like that, does it?
They make a fake, they make a spike that looks something like the COVID, and they say they got to put fat, some type of fat around it, so that your body
lipids.
Yeah, till it gets into your body, and then it decodes and starts building the stuff to it recognizes it. Then the second time you take the shot, it starts to produce the antibodies to and I was wrong. It doesn't actually attach to your DNA though. I thought it actually attached to it. They said it does flush out. It goes through. So
I was, and like I said, because it doesn't function like a regular vaccine. Technically, I don't even think technically it is like that. But I was listening to Rand Paul the other day, and he was saying that, and I think it was the WHO that he said, if I'm not mistaken, he said that they were saying that for every one person that has had COVID, actually at least 2 people have had it.
Oh, I believe more than that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a low estimate.
Yeah.
And he talked about different things about the masks. I went out today, bro, and I was like, I walked in the store, I was like, wait, do we have to have these masks on?
Nobody.
Like they had the workers didn't have, I saw maybe 1 or 2 workers with them. It was in the hardware store, it was a Home Depot, and nobody had a mask on. There were no signs for masks. I'm like, wait a minute, is it straight now? What's going on?
Home Depot dropped it right off the bat.
Okay. Because I usually don't go to Home Depot. I usually go to 2 different hardware stores out here. I was helping my mother out, and we went in there, and I was like, wait a minute, do we have to? What's going on? So
now, I'm agree with you. They are still studying this because this is a live trial.
Yeah, it's live trial. 100%.
Yeah. But whatever happened to the vaccines, the bad vaccines? They got the man trying to catch us coming home from work. Whatever happened to those spoiled vaccines? It's just like anywhere else. We got bad product. We try to get it out to the people some kind of way. Fast food restaurant, they drop hamburgers on the floor. They still try to get them sold. Some places throw them away, but they sell those bad hamburgers. Quality control issues, they still try to get those things sold. Irregular shirts. Are we getting those bad vaccines?
I don't know, brother. If that's it, you muted, brother. You muted. Now you froze.
Oh, Deontay. Yeah.
I can hear you.
Okay, you froze, brother, and you was talking, and we couldn't hear the rest of. I think I heard something about. Last thing I heard, I think was like what you said about the hamburgers falling on the floor, and then.
Well, yeah, are we getting the bad vaccines just like anywhere else? Where they try to get the bad product out, they want to throw away as little as possible. We have a government where they'll do anything.
But okay, one thing is different I would say is different, and maybe you can tell me what you think. The difference is because it's what's the incentive for giving you bad ones in that sense of what you're talking about? Because if they already had the money, it doesn't matter.
Well, it's like Well, it's kind of like, you know, how they controlling the population, just like anything, you know, they controlling our population. I mean, we don't know, it can have mental effects down the line. I mean, we're already being dumbed down as a people. We're already being dumbed down. This could be like a finishing move.
Like into two species. Well, that's a different conversation, but yeah, we certainly being dumbed down. But I don't know, you know, if you have a contract and you already have the money like guarantee and you give it without any, you know, you can't be sued for it having ill effects. It's not like a burger on the floor where you gotta, hey, you spend money on this burger, you gotta sell it anyway because you gotta make that money. Because otherwise it's a loss. This isn't that type of loss. At least, what country was that where the particular shot was given false HIV reads? Was that Australia?
Was it Australia, I believe?
Yeah. So when you see extreme things
Australia.
like that, they'll stop. You know, but you haven't really seen extreme ill effects. I mean, I've seen some extreme singular cases. I saw a gentleman where his tongue was hanging out of his mouth.
Yeah.
I've seen certain few young people had adverse effects. That was dealing with their heart, but you know, I haven't seen it. And I think those effects will, if they do exist, will be later down the line. You won't necessarily know until later down the line, you know. But I see what you're saying. It's just hard to trust, really. It's hard to put your trust in. You really, you know, you're taking a risk either way it go. And it's definitely hard to trust. People kept going to the Tuskegee, but I'm like, Tuskegee, man, you know, there's so many other instances of that. Dating back to the time of slavery, talking about medical experimentation on Black people. And think about, that's what you know. Is it Dr. Harry Washington has a book, Medical Apartheid? So yeah, but I think they push Blacks because I think they need to know what happens when Blacks take it. That's what I think, because we different. We're just different, you know.
In my job, we starting actually today. The second half, the night shift of the job. If you've been vaccinated, they kind of update your ID card. But you get to wear a sticker on your ID card, right? And you can walk around the job, no mask on. So those like myself who choose not to be vaccinated have to wear the mask. And if it comes off and you report it, now the job's on the line. You understand? They can let you go for not following the safety protocol. So
yeah. And
it's becoming one of those situations.
Like, you get rewarded for having it. And ironically, I'm talking about having a vaccine when you more than likely naturally had the antibodies, because you know what I'm saying? That's
and what really doesn't is if they were saying that this thing was a guarantee, you're not going to get COVID, we can understand why people would run out there, you know.
Yeah, it's not,
but you could still get COVID. Like, and what makes the person not wearing the mask any safer than the guy wearing the mask? If that's the case,
it doesn't. The mask
doesn't. The mask don't work, and you got a shot, and you could get sick. And what was the promise? The promise that they make is, oh, you won't have to spend such critical time in a hospital. That's the main thing. You might not have to have that long, drawn out, those pains and whatever happens to you in the hospital. Like,
it's supposed to lessen the severity.
There you go. Sorry. There it is. All right. There you go. So lessen the severity. That doesn't mean you can't get it. You still pass it on. You're still an outbreak monkey like me.
And I might be the one that end up dying from the less severity. So like you said, ain't no guarantees, brother. I understand exactly. I don't like what you're saying on the job, though. That's not cool.
Yeah, to me, you know how I am. This is a small dose of what's coming. And I'm looking at it from my angle on the job. It's like, that's when, they start pointing the fingers and you wearing a mask. That's the identification now. You ain't vaccinated. Now we can look directly at you, say, because you can't pull down your mask, we know who you are. You know what I'm saying? So, and there's little cards. You got to have your cards. You got to show proof you've been vaccinated. So these are
like a merit, like a merit sticker, like you've been a good boy, a good girl, like on the job. I just read today at Indiana University, the largest university in Indiana, they're demanding that in order to return, you have to have the vaccine. And those students and parents are like protesting it.
I agree. That's good.
They're protesting is this constitutional?
Mm-hmm.
Because they were talking about how where the university is located in Bloomington, nowhere else requires you to do that.
The rate is falling. That's why I don't understand why they still pushing it.
Say again, brother.
The rate of infections, that even by their own data, is falling. I don't understand the need to continue to push it. Because I just seen a young dude was 14 went and got that shot, and I was like, why? I don't.
Kids are I've seen. Well, I don't even want to talk about that, but yes, I yeah.
I mean,
I
understand exactly what you're saying, brother. It doesn't make sense to me.
And the rate of how many people have been vaccinated in Jersey is like close to 80%.
Really?
Yeah.
Completed or
who's 80% who've been vaccinated?
At least one dose.
At least one dose, yeah. Because around here, something like that with one dose at least. Yeah. I'm against forcing any of that stuff. But they forced other vaccines on people, but it was actually at this vaccine hasn't been like approved yet, right? It's got emergency authorization. I thought it had to be like approved or something before they could force people to have it.
This country makes up rules as they go, man.
Or changes rules as it goes along. I was just about to say that, brother. I was just about to say power changes rules as power sees fit.
Yeah, because I don't think they actually got it cleared yet. Because I heard Pfizer was trying to get it cleared, at which point they can make it mandatory like other vaccinations for like to go to college and stuff. But this is still in the experimental phase, I thought.
Voluntary.
Yes. All right. Well, I just had to. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Switching subjects. What do you brothers think about the rumblings of war with China that keeps coming up? Anything?
2030, economically, China gonna pass US.
In 20, wait, what?
2030.
Oh, 2030.
Yeah.
Yes.
9 years. And one of the things is they're positioning themselves strategically so they could hit America if anything go wrong. Right?
Yeah. They are. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. So that's why they're trying to get Taiwan, building all these islands, unsinkable carriers in the South China Seas to get closer to hit mainland America. If anything go wrong, that's what they're doing. It's unfortunate that America put all the money in their pocket and now they're turning around. So that you see what Trump was doing. Trump was right, and now Biden doing it in sly with the big budget, right?
Yeah.
So everybody's saying Trump this, Trump that, but
yeah, they don't.
Nobody stopped to think. Yeah, nobody stopped to think, right?
No, not at all.
But they're unstoppable three now. I didn't think they could ever. Apparently, they banned Twitter in Nigeria, right? Because Twitter went and block some tweet from the Nigerian government in power. And Nigeria decide, okay, we're going to block you. And in the process of blocking them, Nigeria now went to China to build a firewall, like the Chinese firewall, to keep out Twitter.
Wow.
Right? So these companies are going and shut down people because of their rules. It don't apply outside America. They keep thinking like that. Right? They keep thinking that other countries is the same like America. And it's not. So India having trouble with Twitter, Twitter having trouble with India, and now Nigeria having trouble with Twitter.
Yeah, it's been, I'm just listening to alternative news and different things. This is from Foreign Affairs. It says America's not ready for a war with China, and then it says how to get the Pentagon to focus on the real threats. So it says the United States spends $19 trillion on its military since the end of the Cold War. That's $16 trillion more than China spent. Yet many experts think that the United States is about to lose a devastating war. In March, Admiral Philip Davidson, then the commander of U.S. forces in the Indo-Pacific, warned that within the next 6 years, China's military will overmatch that of the United States and will forcibly change the status quo in East Asia. Yep. Back in 2019, a former Pentagon official claimed that the U.S. military routinely gets its handed to it in war games as simulating combat with China. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, many analysts and researchers have concluded that if China chose to conquer Taiwan, which what the brother was just talking about, the Chinese People's Liberation Army, PLA, could cripple whatever U.S. forces tried to stand in its way. So I don't know. I think
the argument is that the Chinese sea around China very shallow, so America could see any sub that leave. But if they capture Taiwan, then you can see the sub them leave, and they could hit West Coast US in no time, right? So that's one of the problem. But they're saying the technology they sub behind, slightly behind, and eventually they will catch up.
Yeah, and I think, like you were saying, economically, I think, there's so many ways to wage a war. I think those are antiquated ways. Big ships, you don't even need that.
Yeah.
You think about World War II and the bomber that dropped the atomic bombs on Nagasaki, Hiroshima. That same kind of power can be contained in a suitcase.
Yeah.
So it's and then just how like we just saw with this virus, acts of war, propaganda war, economic war, cyber war. I was looking at another article, and it was talking about how the United States is not prepared for EMP attacks. And it was saying that, hold on, this is actually, let me see if I can share it.
Our infrastructure is very old.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You want to expound on that, brother?
So most of our nuclear plants, and specifically our nuclear plants, were built in the 60s and the 70s. And most of their equipment is still from the 60s and the 70s. So if an EMP was to hit pretty much anywhere in the United States, most of our nuclear facilities are going to go down, period. And the likelihood of them coming back up is slim to none, because the decades in which those parts were created and manufactured, the people that are currently alive today aren't familiar with most of that technology. They know how to operate it, but as far as working on it and getting parts to work on it, that's a totally different story.
So that knowledge died with the people?
It didn't totally die, but it's almost slightly foreign.
It's like working with an old computer or something like that?
It's like a diesel. It's like having diesel mechanics and like gasoline mechanics. Like there's far more gasoline mechanics, but very few diesel mechanics.
Gotcha, understood. Now I was watching an article or watching a news report on Korea having the EMP North Korea having it like nuclear EMPs. That same they have so that would be them, Russia and China having that technology. And just like you said with the nuclear, if you know that, certainly they know that. Yeah. So I don't know.
I remember in 2018, towards like December, Department of Homeland Defense put out a statement talking about how America wasn't prepared for somewhat of like if an EMP attack was to happen, that we didn't have 2 months worth of food stored up for survival. And this was, you talking now 3 years ago. They were talking about the possibility of how bad this would shake America and Americans because of their lifestyle of that, wasteful mentality that we don't store. Nobody, like you could go into people's homes and their pantries are not full with food anymore like it used to be. And that we needed to have at least 2 months worth of food stored and things of that nature, just in case. And I always think that they kind of like, pre-warn you of things prior to come that they foresee happening. And if that was 3 years ago, I think that we need to start thinking, get our stuff together, start prepping,
Yeah. Just go ahead. But hey, brother, before you go, I just want to explain very briefly what an EMP is for people that may not know, and then you got it. I just want to say, electric magnetic pulse is something that basically would knock out all your electronics. So your phone, your car, your nothing will work. Those pumps that pump, water, like the water, nothing would work at all. Everything would stop, and everything would stop. My go ahead, brother.
Yeah, one of my thing, I think they just want military and economic power. I don't think they want to, because if they hurt the US, right, they can hurt a lot of the world. Whole Western Hemisphere, all Europe, they can hurt, right? Their money, their everything the whole global economy gonna go bad. So I think what they want to do is get the dollar out of the way, right? So their currency control the world instead of what's going on now. I don't think they will ever military attack, unless they provoke, right? But economically, I think that is where they want to go. Stay a superpower and just stay quiet with it, but in control in the background. Because they need to keep you buying stuff and keep their people employed, because then they're gonna get revolution, right? So
I see
that is my take on it. They wouldn't just come and do it out of the blue, so they'll do it in a more technical way by money and by military. So
my job had yesterday a 5-hour shutdown globally. Like if somebody hit a switch and nothing was working for 5 hours, to hit a company like mine globally was direct and definitely an attack of some sort. Was no accident. It seems like there's some kind of cyber warfare going on out here right now that we need to be really paying attention to what's going on, because something's definitely brewing, and all of these little things popping up, America getting attacked here and there, big businesses are getting hit like this, and something happening right in front of our face, and I don't know, stay prayed up.
Yeah, we just went out the East Coast a few weeks ago.
Say that again, brother.
We ran out of gas on the East Coast a few weeks ago. Well, at least in Maryland we did. Fortunately, that didn't last too long.
I think Brother Mo had the same. He was talking about how it was low there as well in Georgia.
Brother, the other thing that China is doing is securing iron. Like they had a deal with Guinea. Instead of buying the iron from Australia, because them and Australia have beef now, right? They buy the iron from
they're beef, like you said, yeah.
Yeah. They went to Guinea and secured the iron ore, and that is just to build, battleships, and you need that for your weaponry. So they're preparing.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying this for years that eventually it culminates with war with Russia and China. And that's not me saying that, that's just,
Book.
That's just projections, You think about it, even if you think about biblically, how these nations, you got a superpower, you have a nation that's has all this dominance, and then another nation comes. So, the Middle Persians have to fight the Greeks.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Like that's what happens. Remember my brother Willie mentioned prepping. Anybody have any little tidbits? I know Brother Elbert as well is ready. Anybody had any tips?
I do. So me and my wife, we got a couple of what they call life straws, and I think it can filter 8,000 gallons or something like that. So you can go directly to the stream. If you know where a stream is, you can drink directly out of the stream, and it'll filter the water for you.
Okay.
And then we have what's called like bug out bags, and then get home bags in the car. So our bug out bags stay in the house, and our get home bags stay in the car. My bug out bag in the house, it has a couple it has a machete, an axe, these water tablet things, water resistant matches, and just like a few other things if we ever need to get in the car and go. And then some fuel and some fuel stabilizer. That's always good.
Okay. Yeah, that'll get you.
I was gonna tell you, make sure you get some dry goods that last for years. Beans and rice, stuff like that. So unless you can afford them, what's those meals that everybody are buying right now that cost
armies.
MREs.
Yeah,
MREs.
15, 20 years.
They're expensive on base.
What's that, brother? What'd you say, brother?
That was Khalil, right?
Yeah, I said they're expensive on base. It's like $8 per meal on base.
Right.
On base.
On base.
Yeah, they're expensive.
Yeah, I don't know. No, but yeah, that's good. Yeah, I think COVID, kind of put some things on people's minds. I would go out, especially when it first hit and everybody's anxiety ridden. I saw a lot of, just being out there constantly having to go out there. You just saw a lot of fear in people's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Saw fear. I remember very vividly one sister. She was snapping. She was going off on her child. Just like you could tell she was just stressed out and scared because of what was going on. Because people, man, it was you know what was going on, and you just know you go there, man. There's all the toilet paper gone, all the canned goods gone. They put quotas on canned goods. So you could tell like people were stressed out, and maybe, but again, I don't know. People kind of getting back to normal, so I don't know if they are quote unquote the new normal. So I don't know if that's still on people's minds as it once was. We have a short memory.
Very short memory. No, everybody wants to live. Like I said, I talk to a lot of adults, and they spend their life on edge, living in a crisis, I should say, always in a crisis state, and never preparing, looking ahead. And I'm not even talking about for tragedy. I'm just talking about everyday living.
Everyday life before COVID. Yeah. There's no stability.
Yeah, how they spend their money on madness. Because I just saw a thing where dude won $30,000 on the lottery and bought a $20,000 chain and got it stolen at a gas station. I said, he won 30 grand and bought a $20,000 gold chain.
Wow.
Yeah, he was like, I heard people getting robbed for their chains. I just didn't think it was gonna happen to me.
Oh my goodness.
And I heard. Hey, first of all, that's it's not comedy, but it sounds like comedy.
That's
It don't
hoodwink.
even sound real. I know you're telling the truth. It's like you spent $20,000 of $30,000 on a chain. I think I said this on here before. It made a whole lot of sense to me. I was like, man, Akon said if you don't have 10 times what it costs, you can't afford it.
Yeah.
If we actually thought like that, man, we wouldn't buy a whole lot of products that we purchase like it's nothing.
Right.
He said if you don't have 10 times what it costs in the bank, you cannot afford it.
Right. Because I do. Yeah,
Man.
a long time ago, brother said he only spend 10% of his home value on a car. So he was like, if he lived in $100,000 house, he would only spend $10,000 on a car. Because you know how it is in some areas, the cars and the trucks is worth more than the house.
Benzes, and it's a house I passed by. Actually I haven't passed by in a while, but I was passing by it every week. And man, just nice car. It's easily in the front of the house $120,000 worth of cars.
Yeah.
Wow.
But the house may cost 120,000. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I heard a quote a long time ago. Dude said, people buy what they want and beg for what they need. And it stuck with me my whole life, man. It's incredible. You'll watch it. People take a trip with all their money and then come back and ask you to pay their electric.
Yeah, that's true. You know, we a lot of times we don't know how to pay back. A lot of times, you know, we pay a lot of interest when we don't have to. It's really a matter of just knowing what to do. You know, a person will pay an extra $100, not understanding that the bank, you need to specify that it needs to be a principal payment, something like that, because they're after the money, so they're gonna put that towards your interest. You need to be trying to do like a principal payment, so that comes down. People don't understand how it truly works. It's almost like anything else. It seems hard until you find out exactly what's going on, and then you know your lives change once you start saving these dollars. You know what I mean? You can do other things, and we ain't out here robbing each other because you know you can go to the movie, you know, or whatever it is you're gonna do. Just simply having some knowledge of what to do, because they won't tell you. They're looking to get the money from you.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a whole game. It's an economic game that they made the rules to, and you don't come here knowing the rules. They know it's like they're the only ones know the rules. So when you violate them, you know you pay the price. Same thing legally. You know, you go in a courtroom and it's like it's a whole nother game. It's a whole nother set of rules. And like you were saying, like when you think about a mortgage, that's the biggest hustle going.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but like you're saying, if you getting that principal pay, if you could pay that 7 years, double your pay, you pay your house off if that's what you choose to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we've gone for the okie doke, and it's all and everything's a part of that okie doke. When you're talking about education, as far as the universities I was talking about, up into these jobs, you know, everything's keeping you just a slave to it. The interest payments, the credit is keeping you a slave to it, to where you you end up not really generating wealth. Yeah, so yeah, we inherit a program that our parents had, or they see, boy, go to school, get your education. You know how many people go to school, get an education, and broke?
Yeah.
Go to school, get your education. You know, that's at least when I was coming up, that's what that was the mantra for young people in general. Go to school, get your education. You can make it. Make something out of yourself, boy. You hear me, boy? Make something out of it. It's like you end up, and now, man, these cats coming out of school, man, 100,000 in school debt. So
$100,000 debt. Yeah. And yeah, I don't understand that.
I got a boy who graduated as a software engineer, I think in 2008. and he's working CubeSmart right now.
He's working where?
CubeSmart storage.
Oh,
Oh,
Yep,
He's a
because
software engineer.
yeah, he was when I guess in 2008 when he graduated, nobody was looking for software engineers. So he didn't have any for I think until like 2013. He couldn't find a job, and then when he got a job interview in 2013, they were like, "Oh, you don't have no experience." That's been his common answer ever since. But he couldn't get no experience because nobody wanted any software engineers.
that's
So he
right.
just got a software engineer degree for nothing.
true hustle.
What's that, brother?
True hustle, man. Absolute true hustle. I was having a discussion with my sister today, and we were talking about my daughter. And, and I was talking about, the way I see fit raising my child to basically keep herself ready for marriage, get you an education, but not to be focusing so much on schooling, just be in position to have the right guy take you in and you be his wife, the best of your ability, be a virgin, be a submissive wife who knows her job. My sister damn near, excuse my language, tried to chew me out. It's a new world. It's not 1950s and 60s, and she's 60 years old and some change. And she telling me no children. She has no children. And maybe that was the mindset of her lifestyle. And I had to explain that to her. I said, look, you didn't have any children growing up. Maybe you can't see it the way I see it. You had to be the woman who was out there in this. Well, for her, she chose to be the one, many degrees and, chasing independence and all this stuff. Being a house mother and wife wasn't, it's a little personal, but it wasn't your thing. You could not do that, biologically. She could have, with adopted children and things of that nature. But it was like, I'm sitting there I'm arguing with my sister about how I feel is right to raise my own daughter. It's not an argument. It is what it is, but this is how I see it. And I explained it right out the gate. I know you're not going to agree with me, but I'm not sitting here promoting super school and all of this stuff. We had this conversation weeks ago about my daughter planning on being a housewife and a mother. Should she accrue all this debt going to school and never really go back? So, yeah, that's part of the situation when you're dealing with family members, man. They don't understand, the way the book has it set up for women in protection wise. They don't need to be out there working if they don't have to be. Right. I'm not trying to set my daughter up to go out there and have to bust her behind like people who really don't know any better do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We kind of trying to prepare them because we know better, against all odds and all family members who feel any type of way. It is what it is. That's why they're my child, not yours.
That's right. That's right.
Brother Elber, was you gonna say something to that toxic?
No, I was gonna agree with him. It's his kid. I used to tell my father, I said, hey, you had your chance, Dad. Now I'm raising mine. Because I caught all type of grief about how I raised my kids. And when we compare them to my nephews, it's a big difference. All three, well, the three that lived with me, but the other ones we raised, even the ones that lived with their mothers because of the pressure that was on them, they all living on their own, paying their own bills. The ones that they sang the happy songs to and put them in timeout, only as long as the kid wanted to stay in timeout. Yeah, my kids had to go somewhere until I got tired of them. But when they gave them that type of freedom, I had to tell my sister they don't know what they're doing. A kid will eat candy till he dies if you just let him do what he feel like, So
goldfish. Yeah.
Anyway,
I talking about that. How Willie just said it, right? When I moved to Canada, right, it's something I noticed with the system here. They used to give a whole year off after the ladies make a baby, right? After giving birth, you'll get a year off. Right. But maternity leave, it was 18 months. Now it's 18 months, right? And you could split it with your husband or your partner. One of the things for me, coming out the islands, I've seen people only get 3 weeks and they're back to work, working normal, right? And I was amazed to see how the system here actually padding up the same woman who would ask for equal pay and equal rights, right? And I have no problem with treating a woman right, right? Not abusing her and all that. But when you come on the work and you're asking for equal pay and equal rights, and then you get 18 months off, a year off, or 9 months off if you split it equally. And then when you come back to work, you don't want to work evenings anymore because you have young kids home. One of my thing I always say, if I ever own a business, I'll try to find an excuse not to hire a woman because it sounds rough and hard, but it's the fact about it. My business is to make money, right? Not for someone to come and complain about equal rights, right? Get paternity leave, and then you don't want to work the shifts that you're given to you. So I've seen in my workspace where people would complain and make excuse not to work evenings so they could be home with their family. Right. And it always the females.
Okay, real quick, brother. Yeah, if you ever do get a company, you better not ever say that. That's where the whole wage gap comes in. The hours of work, the willingness to work those long hours, the time, the willingness to do certain type of jobs, the willingness to move for a job. When you account for all those things, the wage gap disappears between men and women. I was watching something, having this discussion today, actually with my father, and we were talking about the WNBA and how they're still pushing to get equal pay with the NBA, as if it's the same thing.
Not entertaining.
It is not the same thing.
Not entertaining.
And not only and the commissioner, I was watching him talk about it. He was like, "Yeah, quite frankly, nobody wants to." You know, he was basically saying the demographic that does it doesn't want to watch it. Like young men, they want to see the NBA.
Right.
Women want to see the NBA.
NBA, right.
WNBA. And he was like, you know, who watches it are older men who are interested in fundamental basketball. And he was saying that really it's not an issue, it's about men, it's an issue about business.
Right.
The bottom line. And what you're talking about is the bottom line.
Right.
And so yeah, the kind of worker, yeah. So the propaganda though that you hear is that somebody's being discriminated. That's not the case.
I'll be back a second, guys. I'll be back a second. Go ahead.
Women's tennis is foul though, because I think they get a bigger TV audience than the men, and I think the men still get higher prizes. But that's the only one I can say.
Say that again. You say they get higher prizes?
Men's tennis players get higher prize money than the.
Why?
Well, it's not because they're popular. More people watch women's tennis than.
Why are they getting higher prize money?
Oh, that's just because I guess it's old people decided men still should get paid more in that one.
Is that the issue?
In tennis, it is, I think. Because like with the women's basketball and a lot of the sports, like you said, nobody goes to those.
Right. Nobody watches it.
Nobody watches it. Nobody's in the stands.
No.
But in women's tennis, compared to men's tennis, they said that the women's tennis has a larger following, kind of like women's gymnastics compared to men's gymnastics. Of course, those women do make more money than the men, I think, in the gymnastics.
So you found one issue
Only. Oh no, I'm not. Yeah, no,
I'm not saying you are. I'm saying you found one issue where that may be the case.
Just that. That's the only one I can think of.
So, and I'm gonna research that one.
Yeah,
I gotta write that down because I gotta figure out why these men getting paid more than these women when.
But that's the only one. Because I think I should get more when I was working. I should get more money than some of the women on the job because they didn't want to pick up the cot when we had patients on them, and they didn't want to. They didn't want to do the dirty work, the overhaul. So they let them be secretaries. That's only 90% of them. It was 10% that did it. But they got paid the same amount I did.
Yeah, sorry, excuse me. I mean, it's gonna sound, I don't care. The whole system is set up for women to get special treatment.
That's it, special treatment. Yes.
You could talk about equality, but it's really all set up for you to get special treatment.
Yeah.
You know, and then for you to say it, now you know it's an issue. That's a problem. But the reality is, you know, we equal. I mean, whatever you're doing, we equal. You go on a date, you expected to pay.
Mm-hmm.
We equal. Well, that's not equality. You know, there is no equality. That's not reality. All men are not equal. That's just foolishness. So they keep pushing that, and then these ignorant men debase themselves. I'm talking about NBA players at the top echelon. Yeah, they need to get more money. What? The NBA subsidizes the WNBA.
Right.
And you putting out a trash product. No, I mean, well, it's just what it is. It's not that you trash player. It's just like if those were, look, you know how many leagues have come in different sports and have failed? Because nobody watched. You remember He Hate Me? Remember XFL?
That's right.
Nobody was watching. I mean, you gotta watch it. If nobody's watching it, it's a bad product. They keep you on and you losing money almost every year.
Right.
That's special treatment.
I agree with you.
That's special treatment. So yeah, I think that it's all set up for, man, everything's bogus now though. Straight up, everything's bogus now, man. Men just sitting around like, you know, like it's supposed to be that way. And
yeah, to moms, that's what men know. We prefer to stay home and take care of the kids. Stupid. You know?
With the apron making muffins, you saw.
Yeah.
Making brownies.
Making brownies.
Honey,
I'm home. That's her talking with deep voice, just like that. Honey, I'm home. That's her coming home. Timer coming off. Are you just in time for these muffins coming out the oven? A dude with an apron on. Going back to what Brother Willie was saying, you know, you talked about your daughter going to college. On one end, I think that it's ways you can get around paying those exuberant amounts of money for college. If you can, obviously, you can get a scholarship, but going to a local branch of a college is a good way. Staying home, not spending and working while you're in college to pay off some of that debt is a good way to alleviate some of that debt. A lot of young people just want to go away to college because I need a college degree to get a career, you know, but really they just want to get out of their parents' house and do what they want to do. They want to party. That's what it boils down to for a lot of young people. But secondly, is that so many of our sisters in particular get terrible advice when they're young. And your most valuable years as a woman are those years where you're most fertile. Those are the years from when you like 20, I'm talking about, obviously when you're of age, I'm talking about when you're like 20 on to like 24, 25, that's when you should really be having babies. You should be married, having children. Instead, they'll either wait, right? And deal with all these men.
Lower their value.
You're not even from a psychological perspective. You've had so much trauma for this bad situations you put yourself in, or you had these illegitimate children, and now you in your 30s, and like I said, who's gonna clean this mess up? Who's gonna clean up this mess?
All
And
that
that
mileage.
and then you don't have a you gonna get a man to take care of some kids that are not his, that and not gonna have any kids with him. It's a terrible deal. And so what they need to be doing is looking for marriage, but they're not even looking for marriage because we were talking about okie dokes earlier. That's one of the biggest okie dokes. Just you're independent, you don't need a man, but all these women on antidepressants.
Right.
Brother Minister, I would think, to go back to what actually worked, people got married young and had babies young.
Thank you.
And the biggest reason behind that, from me and my wife's experience, we had the energy to deal with all of them when we was young. Having them babies in your mid-30s, you ain't got it in you to be out there running and jumping and flipping with them until, it's a non-stop job. Your wife probably never rests with your young kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and even if you did, because the risk goes up obviously for women. Yeah. And that's when their value it, you're like, how you putting value on people? Yeah, that's what it is. Their value is there.
Right.
Their value is there. So they waste that time. They waste their value. And it's like, man, so you're gonna come out with a degree and no viable husbands. But you think a job is what it is? So who tricked you into thinking that a job is
your purpose in life?
Thank you. It's not. You are a helpmeet to a man. Yeah, you can have a job, okay, but that's not your purpose. Your purpose is not a job. So, it's like you said, it's not 1950. Yeah, it was better back then.
Right.
It was better back then. And it's a delicate balance, man. Like you look at what stuff going on now. I think I told you, brothers, they were talking about women getting together and having these relationships with another woman just so they can have somebody to die with, basically.
I haven't heard that.
Having almost like a marriage type situation, not necessarily conjugal in that regard, but just having somebody that's there for them. Because at the end of life, you need somebody.
Right.
Wow.
You need somebody. So it's and another thing, the way things are looking now, it's not something when you was talking about, a husband for your daughter, it's something you're gonna have to be involved in,
of course, 100%. And that's what I was explaining to her. I was like, look, you gotta understand something. A young girl, and I understand that most women, and if you're trying to stay a virgin till you're married, you're really in a race with your hormones. You know what I'm saying? What you do, how you're living, what you're preparing, because you're going to get to a point where you're going to be desiring to be with another person. And if you're not ready to be in a marriage situation, you're not mentally ready. You don't understand your position as a wife. By the time your hormones catch up and you ready to start, laying down with a man, you should be. And I told this to my sister. See, she's not biblical, but so I said it's better to marry than to burn, right? So she's better be in a position to be married before she getting ready to go lay down with some dude. Right. Whether that be 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, they consider her an adult. She better be prepared to be a wife before she go lay down. In all these areas. You understand what I'm saying? So my sister looking at it like, oh, makes you think she wants to lay down with a man. I said, she's a human.
Yeah, that's a human thing. Yeah.
She's a human. It's my daughter. No, she grown. Right. She gonna be a woman one day. So I'm expecting her to be prepared. And that's my job. I try to let my daughters know the value of themselves. I have to explain that to them and how you're going to devalue yourself if you go out in these streets and play with anybody. Every man is a notch down below. That's another $100,000 man or man worth something you just lost. every time you do something with some guy, you add more baggage to your load and what you bring to the table. You're gonna lose out. You want to be qualified to be a wife. Qualified. Forget even being a high value or wife or what's considered a high value wife to us. You need to just be able to be a wife in general.
Yeah, I don't think they want that. I'm not saying I'm just saying in general. I don't think they're not worried about being a wife in that regard, as far as what it truly actually in function. They just worried about title. Sometimes having that ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a messed up game out here. Like young cats like Austin, man. Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough. It's tough goings out here. But yeah, you got a lot of wasted years, and you end up, just wasting time that you should have been seeking to mate. Instead, you're not even concerned about that. As if your job is gonna bring happiness to you. That's not going to happen. Men know that.
Mm-hmm.
It's duty. That's why we do it. It's something you have to do. You have to provide. It's a lot of pressure. You're not, but and then if you do have a fan, well, anyway, something's gonna be lacking. Something's going to be lacking. Oftentimes, I just. Oof.
Well, how old is your daughter, Brother Willie?
Lord willing, she'll be 13 next week.
Oh, she's too old, man. I'm schooling up a grandson.
Listen, he said I'm schooling
up my grandson. So, I'm gonna take him over there and say, Willie, get a look at him. Is he good enough?
Hey, real talk. I mean, obviously, not at that age, but that's what needs to happen.
I'm gonna bring him over there and say, look here, man.
Mm-hmm.
I taught him how to work.
Willie, don't forget the door, yeah?
Absolutely.
You heard that, brother?
Don't forget the dowry.
Don't forget the dowry.
That's right.
And look, that's all going to me. Absolutely.
He said, "Don't forget the dowry."
You made my wife laugh on that one, man.
Listen,
that's funny.
But
that's real.
I honestly believe that's how we're supposed to be operating.
Yeah.
That's how you're supposed to. I know you. I know what you're about. I know your family. I know your God. I know if you raised this child the way you live your lifestyle, he's suitable to be my daughter's husband. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying?
If you give me a phone call, I'm gonna go choke him.
Right.
Man, I'll be like, man, hold on, I'll be right back. I ain't joking, brother. I'm just talking.
Another man needs to vouch for that man.
Mm-hmm.
Another man needs to vouch for that man to say, okay, yeah, he's straight. I know he's straight because I know him. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. You meet somebody on Facebook, man, you tripping.
Kill you in the Uber.
Yeah, I never understood that new dating style. I thought you had to go to the spot, size her up, talk to her, get her to giggle a couple times and smile at you, then you get a number. This new swipe to the left or texting to get a date blows me away.
Man, all of it's foolishness. Man. All of it's foolishness.
The most popular thing you getting in that date is catfished. That's what you're gonna get catfished, man. I've never been at any part of my life an online dater, but I've watched brothers, friends, and 90% of them were catfished. A lot of the images that they, most people put on are from a younger time in their life, and it was that one good picture that night.
20 years ago,
45. 10 years ago, and next thing, man, you like 100 pounds heavier than the picture.
Right.
That remind me of back in the days you watched Friday. Chris Tucker, don't ever come back around here no more.
Don't ever come back here again.
Don't ever come back here no more.
It's like Janet Jackson.
Like Freddie Jackson, right? Listen.
Wasted years.
Right. Wasted years. Absolutely.
Wasted years. So now, man, it's a terrible time out here to try to be looking for somebody. It's terrible. It's terrible.
And that's the thing, like, we're a group, right? We have children, we have grandchildren, and we understand hormones, we understand life, we understand principles, what needs to be done. And in order to kind of set our children up for success so they don't have to go out there and make these decisions with that, this is something that they know. We got, as men right now, we got to be talking amongst each other. Like, yeah, we got, my daughter's such age, she learning this and that. And, you know, that's got to be a tribal thing, man. It really does, because we can't trust the world, man. I don't trust the world with my kids. I don't trust their mom with my kids. No, I'm gonna be honest. That's just my personal opinion. But, that's just me. That's just me.
I
made a few mistakes. I made a few mistakes in my life, so I'm guilty. When I say, you know, I don't trust everybody, because we don't all see the same things. You know, I gotta fight just to get modest apparel. You know, these are things that should be wanted by all for the protection of your child, but everybody don't see it that way. So yeah, I gotta protect them from themselves. You know, everybody.
You said that. I used to say that a lot. I gotta protect you from yourself. You let them go, they're gonna act crazy, brother.
You said it. They eat candy to death. You said that.
Oh,
I just see a kid is healing over after too many Laffy Taffies. Just fall out because they ate too much candy. But no, yeah, you'll mess yourself up out here, man.
Mm-hmm.
Mess yourself up out here. Wow. Yeah. And what was I about to say? I lost my train of thought just that quickly. What? Oh, go ahead, brother Isaiah. You was gonna say something.
I just want this border open, man. I might do tabernacle with you.
Say again, bro.
I say I hope the border open up in time so I could do tabernacle. I could drive across by you and do the tabernacle this day.
Yeah. Look forward to it. Hopefully.
Yeah. Hope they open it.
What I was thinking was that, again, I always say that, you know, she had to be a wife already.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like, so often you go into these situations, the way in which we go into these situations, I'm talking about before the word, is trash. And so you have encounter after encounter dealing with these people or dealing with the opposite sex in very inappropriate and destructive ways. And so I was thinking that, like, when you talk about kids, it's like, man, as we continue to grow, if we had a program even to put children or young people through at a particular time, get some training outside of what they should be getting in the home, you know, as far as what you should be doing. You know, I think sometimes people get into marriage and they don't know what it is.
Right.
They just enter into something and they ready to get out of it. And it's so easy to get out of it, but you weren't a wife in the first place, and you as a husband know what you were supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And now we got so many men, man, just taking L's all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, high profile, taking L's all over the place. Just being just making it worse for men in general because they stupid.
Right.
Real talk, because they doing stupid things. She, you know, my wife is the head of, you know, she control me. Like, I saw a Negro on TV the other day talking about his wife gives him an allowance. This was like on this was a quick. What's the name of that show? Black Love, I think. I don't watch this. I was shown this clip, and I was like, "This is trash." I said something a little worse than that, but to be honest, but yeah, it was just like he's talking about my wife. Hey, she give me an allowance, and I saw this Muslim on there. He was talking about how his wife, you know, he was a Muslim, and his wife was, I guess, a Christian and wanted to celebrate Christmas and wanted the kids to, so he went along, and now he's celebrating Christmas with the kids. You're supposed to be a Muslim.
Mm. That's that Steve Harvey thing though, right? Chris Lon.
What is it?
Chris Lon.
Chris, oh yeah,
Chris
yeah,
line. It's the Steve
Yeah,
Harvey
Steve
religion,
Harvey.
right?
yeah. And then he said she said they was taking back shots of tequila and all. I'm like, hey, you ain't even supposed to be, man. And then and then and then she was talking about, yeah, a mix. It's not supposed to be a mixture. So basically, she the spiritual head of your house.
Usurped.
And the other, yes, and the other one was the economics. And he's sitting there with his woman. I'm like, she don't respect you. She give me an allowance.
Does he work?
He was saying it proudly too. She give me an allowance.
He don't work?
Huh?
Did the brother work? A job?
What that brother was doing. I don't know what he was doing. I just saw him the part where he was talking about she give him an allowance. He said, the fact, I don't care. The fact that she tell you what to do and what not to do.
Right. You don't have no respect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't have no respect for yourself.
Nah, how can she respect you?
Mm-mm.
You going for it. It was bad. It's all bad. Dwayne Wade, you making all that money. His wife talking about she works harder than me, and so she worked harder than you.
She wasn't with you shooting in the gym.
She wasn't in. She went in the gym with you. You played 82 games, bro. That's not to mention practice in the playoffs.
But do you think that's all TV propaganda though? Like they
I think it's all propaganda.
Like he probably on some pimp stuff, probably pimping her behind closed doors and everything else. Well, you know what I mean? In front of.
I think it's propaganda. Like those shows they're not geared towards men, they're geared towards women. So the message is women. If we were sitting there talking, we couldn't be on OWN or whatever, on that same show talking like we're talking. Yeah, I'm the head of my household. And basically my wife is in subjection to me, and I take care of my wife.
Tyler Perry be the first person to try to get us shut down.
I don't know who would shut it down, but it wouldn't be on TV. They'd be calling you, what year? I think it was your aunt or your aunt said. What year do you think this is? A cousin?
Oh, my sister.
Your sister. I'm sorry, your sister. What year do you think this is?
Mm-hmm. That toxic masculinity.
I was joking, calling you toxic earlier. I said, you toxic, brother.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You said that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, thank you, Bobby. What you call me? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'm starting to really enjoy being different, man.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm serious. Like I'm looking, like we're really looking at like the Twilight Zone and sheeple. And a lot of things, and when you just kind of just like, I'm really the black sheep. Like we all sheep somehow. Some white following, some just black sheep. I guess I'm the black sheep. I'm fine with it. You know what I mean? Because I understand what I'm doing.
You know where you're going now, right?
I know where I'm going.
That's right.
I'm a follower too. I'm just not the herd.
That's right, brother. That's what happens.
Yeah, we definitely in the Twilight Zone. I was on my mother's house. I was helping her with some things, and it was funny because she had the view on. I guess she schedules the view immediately when it come on. She got to watch that. I'm like, I can't stand that mess. But anyway, it comes on, and Bruce Jenner's on there. He's running for governor.
Oh, he said Bruce.
Called him by his real name.
What you say?
You allowed to say Bruce? Bruce Jenner. You said Bruce Jenner.
I'm gonna name him Bruce. But Bruce Jenner. I'm not. Anyway, Bruce Jenner was on TV like it was normal.
Right.
I'm like, man, this is the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Man, so there were he had the quintessential women's power suit. Like a Kamala Harris suit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hillary Clinton suit.
Yeah.
But you got a prostate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They talking to him like this. This is normal. Yeah. I'm like, man, this is the Twilight Zone.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up, man. This is the Twilight Zone. I'm like, do most people not see that all this is going in the wrong direction?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we was talking about that today. It's you know, they said when you're in a fish bowl, you can't see what's going on unless you get out of it.
Yes.
And I think most people are in that fish bowl until somebody, if they even want to wake up or come outside of it and take a look. Because yeah, something came on the other day, and I was called something, and I used the Farrakhan line. He said, "Y'all call me homophobic." He says, "I believe what Jesus believes." So if I'm homophobic, Jesus is homophobic too. So I be homophobic, and I cried, man.
That's wordplay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they call it's call you this disparaging remark as if you're a bigot,
Right.
but you're not not agreeing with a particular lifestyle. It's funny how you see that every time you watching something. If somebody goes against they have to give a disclaimer. Now I'm not saying hey, I don't this. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Scared to pick a side.
You got to pre-qualify your statement
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times. Yeah.
that's how you've been made to capitulate
Right.
to everybody from the Baptist preacher to every politician to every rapper. Everybody's capitulating to that. But it's a weird time, and it's not going. It's
Not getting better.
it's prime for judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even go ahead, brother.
Well, you know how you said that. You know how at the beginning in Genesis, God made Adam and Eve and they were naked and they weren't ashamed. We right back there now. Huh. We
You
at that
mean as far as
time
lack
right
of
now.
shame? As far
Naked
as
and
lack
not
of
ashamed.
shame?
Yeah, naked. Yeah,
Yeah, we don't. I think we're a little bit further in Genesis. Where they say, "Where the men that bring them out so that we may know them."
Yeah, that's
It's
awesome.
not a make Gomorrah. That's where we at right now. That's I think that's yeah, I think it's a prime time it's prime for judgment.
Right.
It's prime for judgment. There's no even inkling of like repentance for anything that's going on. You don't really see that. I understand what you're saying.
But can I tell y'all something I talked to my sons about today? I told them that, if they could stay girded in the word, they might see a woman that may not be modestly dressed, but that would be why we got to stay girded up in the word, because she's lacking some guidance somewhere. So you got to be able to lead her. I mean, you may be looking for the one that's modestly dressed, but most people are lacking guidance. If and if you stay with what while we're grounded in this, people are just looking for you to change. But if we don't change, people seem like they'll come around and do what we do. We just can't get off of our path, because most people will get off the path. They'll go away from what they've been taught, what we know, trying to please the world when we know we're gonna suffer persecution.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to staying in the Bereshith and Genesis, like what the book earlier, just a few moments ago, you mentioned, because the topic, as far as the biblical topic, was actually what's one of the greatest lessons you learn from the Bible about men and women. And to me, one of the greatest is, I think that's a good segue. One of the greatest is simply what Adam did in regard to Eve. Because as a man, you shouldn't let nobody get you off your purpose, get you off your square. You got to stand firm in that. In a woman's beauty or sexual appeal or enticing words or good cooking or home cooked meals or whatever it is shouldn't get you off of what you're supposed to be doing. God is supposed to be ahead, and that is it. So now, as far as, and this gonna sound, again, I don't care. I've come to the realization that the conditioning is so thorough that even the many of the sisters that you see dressed in modest apparel do not have the mindset that is conducive to living as a righteous wife, because they have been, just like everybody else, have been indoctrinated in this Western culture. So where they'll put on the modest apparel, even for those that want to even do that, because many of them won't do that. They claim they believe, but then they'll do that, but they still won't submit to their husbands. So, that's what I see. I'm saying, I'm talking in the word. Like, you see it, like, wait a minute, what you listening to? So it's like, yeah, it to me, I'm very careful, when I look at the situation with women, because I understand that a woman, like another example of a story is Samson. I mentioned that last week, or it might have been last Bible study. Samson, that strong man I mentioned last week. Samson came down, was a strong man, came down because of a woman. Solomon was a wise man, came down because of women. They were the downfall. So, me personally, I'm not even considering twice a woman that I'm not looking for nobody nowhere. But I'm just saying, if I were in that situation, I wouldn't be looking at a woman. I wouldn't even consider a woman that's not dressed modestly. And then even one that's dressed modestly, I'm looking at with a side eye. And the reason because I know you could be brought that my purpose is more important than any of that. And I think that's what men have to be. Because a woman today had the power to ruin your life.
Facts.
A woman today had a power to ruin your life. What I mean by that is the power. She's empowered through the state. Yeah. See, we talking about a husband, or father. That's her father and husband. And if you get the wrong woman and then impregnate that woman, you saw that brother shake his head. It can put you in a situation that it may take you a decade or two to recover from. It may mean the denial of your, from seeing your own children. To the point where a lot of men who want to be good fathers, they say, I'm not even dealing with that. They'll have to see me when they get old. I'm gonna pay this child support, but they have to see me because I don't want to deal with their mama. I look at some of the comments that sisters that's supposed to be believers on Facebook say. They ignorant. I know that sounds bad. They ignorant. They sound like women in the world, and they crave the same amount of attention.
Authority as well. Authority as well. Like they want that power as well. Because I really don't know, like, women of the world, and I mean the world and stuff. Like when you're reading those comments and hearing, do you hear that they still lust after that authoritative position in the household somewhat?
They are not. Go ahead, brother. I cut you off.
Like no, I'm just trying to say, do they still come across as if they still want to live the Western lifestyle? 100%. And they're okay.
100%. Well, I can't say 100%. 90%.
But I have a question for you, brother.
Yeah.
I'm married and everything, right? So that's behind me. But a brother like little baby brother there, Austin, where he's gonna find a woman like that, the ideal one? That in this Western world, where? Oh.
I'm not saying the sister don't exist, but
it's
difficult. It's difficult. Because you think about it, everybody want to talk about a Proverbs 31 woman. Don't even say that. Don't even bring up that chapter. I'm not talking about out in the world. I'm talking about those that believe, because they don't understand. Because again, that's how deep the conditioning is. That's how deep the conditioning is. When it comes to actually doing what that book says to do, as far as what a woman's supposed to do, they ain't trying to do that. Relinquish power that they're given by society. They're not trying to do that. They're not trying to do that. So where he's gonna find a wife, my suggestion, to be honest, if that, first of all, I'll be honest, just to get yourself together first before you try to do anything. Get yourself together, get yourself established, establish a household, and you know, when it comes to making a woman a part of that household, I would suggest a man pray first, foremost, pray to the Lord for direction in that regard, and maybe ask brothers for some help. Maybe, you know, but definitely if you see a sister, you want to see, number one, I always say, if I lose my mind, is this woman still gonna serve the Lord? You know what I'm saying? Is this woman gonna be a good wife and a good mother? See, if she never seen that, or don't even have a desire to do, she's not gonna be that. She might want to be married. She don't want to be she doesn't want to be a wife though. You see what I'm saying? You know, so, and then, you know, quite frankly, see, this is harsh, but you know, you could do things to disqualify yourself from being a wife. I think we had this discussion before. You could do some things that disqualify you from being a wife. Now, women don't want to hear that. Women do not want to hear that, but that's the reality. If a man is thinking logically and looking at it with righteous eyes, you could put yourself in a position to where you're not qualified to be a wife. So, those certain things, you know, certain things you can do, you just need to look at the situation. Look at how she's treating other people. She's gonna treat you like that eventually. So that's harsh talk, but it actually, we've lost a standard that we should have as believers. Like the generation that comes up, they shouldn't have all these illegitimate children. You know, that shouldn't be the case. You know, but a lot of women, you know, they have no desire to be a true wife and don't even know how to be one. That's why I was talking about earlier about those programs or classes, even to help them prepare, because they're not getting that as they should, just in their home, observing their mother. When they observe their mother, what do they see? They didn't see a wife. They didn't see a true mother. They didn't see that. They didn't see that. So, you know, it's hard to be something you didn't see, especially if you're not trying to do that. So, and then it's not like they can, you know, it's less and less that you can look at older people for guidance, man. I was having this discussion earlier, the real generation to where them people are about something, you can look at them and see, okay, I don't even think it was my father's generation. I think it was my grandparents. I don't even think it was like the generation right before me. I think it was, I'm not saying you done had decent people. I'm just saying, like, man, it's just different, man. You can't look to the, you know, my generation that was produced from my father's generation and think you're gonna get something. I don't think they have it to give you. So now these young people that are coming up, they lost. They have totally lost it. They have totally lost it. So yeah, he in a bad situation. And what I mean bad situation, he doesn't have, it's not like it's just, oh man, it's just so many wonderful righteous sisters to choose from. No, it's not. Because they'll put that head wrap on and you know, carry around a Bible and have a long dress on and bring hell to your house. And bring hell to your household.
I was looking at an article. It said, I think it's 43 to 53% of people between like 18 and 24 don't know, don't care, and don't believe if God exists. I was like, ooh.
Hey, I said in a lesson, God, no, after I got in that word be true. I said, if you look up and you raise a generation of godless children, you need to look in the mirror and see why they are godless. You the reason they got, not you, Khalil. I'm saying the generation that had those babies, had those children, you the reason why those children are godless, that they don't know God. It's just your duty, particularly men. It's your duty as a man to teach those children what thus saith the Lord through example and literally teaching them Torah. That's commanded in the book. So, you know, when you don't do that, you expect them to know God. These children don't know God. Man, look at what's in front of them, though. I mean, you got literally artists putting blood in their shoes, selling satanic sneakers. They role models are Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And Kanye. What do you mean? It is bad. It is bad, brother.
I don't even think, to be honest, like they don't even look at Kanye like that.
Yeah, he ain't in the front no more.
No, they don't look at Kanye like that. That Kanye's older.
Well, who the man, the young men look up to now?
You got them 6'9s, them weirdos with the rainbow hair, and dudes wearing dresses. NBA young boys and these
Lil Durk and Lil Baby. I watched the video today, Lil Durk and Lil Baby. I said, what are they saying? And it was and then I was looking at Migos had a new song out. I'm like, man, they messing up Papa Was a Rolling Stone.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they don't have anybody to look to. So it's a problem. It's a problem. And yeah, he's in a, you know, the society is not producing, especially, you know, you mentioned Farrakhan earlier, Mr. Farrakhan. I look at Malcolm when he said you can tell the condition of a people when you look at that woman.
Yeah.
When you look at our woman, you say, oh, this people is destroyed.
Yeah. We supposed to protect. I don't know if I saw a video the other day that was very powerful. I'll send it to you, brothers, and see what y'all think about it. But it was regarding exactly that, how the black woman was being treated.
You say it's a movie?
No, it was a video that somebody put it together about how we were conditioned in society to value the black woman below all other women on the planet. And it was a conditioning going through movies and and basically media. How many of us program way back when I sent you that thing about James Earl Jones. And
okay.
Talking about stuff, and they put something else together where that's still going in through movies today, where how she is devalued as the least attractive, least desirable woman. You know.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Do you think black men thinks that the black woman is the least attractive?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've heard brothers say there ain't no good looking black women. I've heard some brothers say that. Because I asked, that's what I brought up before. People are enticed or they fall in love with what society has told them was beautiful. Cars, not everybody. Cars, women, housing. So they put an image out there for people to desire. Like in other cultures, chubby women are very desirable, but not here because it was an image that was put together for them. So I do think that has, like when we talk about long hair, sisters put in their weave so that they can look like the other woman that men are chasing.
Man, I don't see that.
Well, I mean, that's fair because we don't.
Yeah, I know we speaking anecdotally, but like I've never in my life, and I'm saying just because I've never heard it doesn't mean it obviously doesn't exist. Let me rephrase that. Actually, let me take that back. Let me rephrase that and say it in a different way. I think most black men, I know statistically, most black men want black women. It's the other races that don't desire black women.
Well,
You know that from statistics from like online dating, what the brother was talking about earlier. Online dating shows you that black women are the least desired. Brother's giggling. Brother,
Sorry
bro,
about that. Sorry.
they are least desirable by other races.
Man, but I'm not seeing our brothers married to women.
You're not seeing what?
I'm not seeing brothers married to women.
Well, okay, so for the black men that are married, over 80% of them are married to black women.
And maybe it's those who are in the front running, like, you know, the celebrities, those who are being watched is the ones propagating the stereotype of setting the bar of what the smaller guys should be doing. You understand? Marrying outside. Not that interracial marriage is wrong. I'm interracially married. But when you see it on a high stage and that's the vision of success, maybe that's what the propaganda is, that when you make it as a black man, you're successfully making it as a black man when you marry outside your race.
Part of that is true. You do see that does take place as far as status.
Right.
That was deemed as status, but you know, well, let me go back a little bit too. Black men and Asian women marry outside of their race more than anybody, but still, black men desire to be with black women. Statistically, they marry black women. I think one of the biggest problems now, and again, like some of these other things that I'm saying sound bad, our women are extremely masculine.
Well, I ain't gonna argue about that. I have to concur. I concur with that.
Well, the men being in prison, they didn't have to take on the man's role.
So you think that's why they're masculine?
Yeah, I think so, because the times that I've had a masculine woman around me, the second time she come around, she feminine. If a man, well, that's what I was saying earlier, if a man will stand his ground, them women, they change. A woman will, I've seen women like with so-called street dudes, they know these guys though, but then you'll find out later it's something else. But if you could stand on your square, I work. I mean, I've done little stuff in the street, but I've pretty much been a man that went to work. You can't knock that. All right, yeah, I didn't make as much money as some guy. He could make what I made in a day for my check, but I ain't going nowhere. I know I ain't gotta go nowhere. You know, so over time, it's just had to be respected. Women that would disrespect the street guy, I get a respect that he don't get.
Let me ask you a question. You got two horses that run the same speed. I know it's a terrible analogy, but I'm about to use it because it's comparing people to horses. But you got two horses that run the same speed. Now, one horse you got to break that horse. The other horse you can get on and just ride. Which horse you getting on?
Well, off the top of my head, I'm probably gonna get on the one I can just get on a ride.
Right, and that's what a lot of men are doing. Because quite frankly, culturally, other women don't act like that. They don't act like that. They're not masculine because their culture is not like Asian women. Like you look, they're more feminine. They are more submissive. You see, that's just the reality. Now, there's a number of reasons why women are more masculine, but they are more masculine. So so a lot of men are saying, wait a minute, am I gonna sit down and try to figure this out like a Rubik's Cube? Or am I gonna go with somebody that's gonna deal with my program? That may come in a different package. That's what they're doing. You got men traveling out the country looking for a mate. Black men going to different countries. You got, so that is it, you know, it's a lot of different various reasons why that takes place. But one of the main things that men want is somebody who's going to cooperate.
That's true.
Some
That's
peace.
what they want. They want cooperation.
Your horse analogy was excellent. That was because I'm getting on the easy horse.
I'm not about to sit there and try to break no horse and get thrown off.
No, I'm gonna go look for another one.
Right. And like you said, you can stand on your square as a man, and they have to respect that. You know, a lot of times, men that marry out, sometimes, not in every case, when they call quote unquote marry out, a lot of times, some of those brothers, sisters weren't feeling them because they ain't had a swag as what quote unquote street dude would.
Mm-hmm.
They was too square.
Yeah.
They was too grade is just too good. The Negro too nice.
I've heard that.
So, you know, you see things like that. Austin going that's Alexander the Great's horse.
Bucephalus.
He found out, but Alexander figured it out. You know, he was scared of his own. This horse was scared of his own shadow. That's why exactly. But man, look at all the people he threw off.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So I understand what you're saying, because at the end of the day, a woman is gonna respect that masculinity. They're gonna respect you as a man because you're gonna demand the respect. But the problem is, look at what you got to go through to get to that point sometimes. And for some men, it's just not worth it. When a woman is pleasant and cooperative off bat. Not saying that, it's not me saying that all women of various races are like that. What I'm saying is, for a variety of reasons, our women are too masculine. And for me, even saying that, it's next rolling right now.
Hey, okay. Yeah, but I've heard brothers make them comments for real though. About saying the sisters ain't attractive.
I remember when I first got married, my exes gave me, oh my gosh, they went in I felt like they wanted to murder me when they found out I was dating a white woman. But you know, and it's kind of like ever since then, ever since I've been with a white woman, people always have assumed like, oh, this guy, he only likes white women. When my wife is the first white woman I've ever dated. Every woman before that was brown skin to dark skin. So, you know, it just so happened that, you know, I wasn't really looking for a girlfriend at the time, and I was focused on getting in the military. And I mean, my wife just so happened to link up, and we've been together ever since. But I know nowadays a lot of people assume if you're with a white woman and you're a man of color, that has always been your preference, and you have not preferred someone of your own race. When that's not the case at all, and it's not the case at all for me. Like I always assumed I was going to end up with a black woman.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's just it's brother. Black men, black women at war with each other, and it's bad, and it's one of the biggest problems we have. You know, you mentioned that, you know, the weave and all that, trying to get that in their hair. They're not doing that for us.
Right.
They're not doing that for us.
Yeah.
They're not doing that for us. You think they're doing that because black men want them with a bunch of weave in their head?
I think.
What was it for?
I think they're doing it just now. This is out of my opinion, to look attractive, right? They're not doing it to look. I think they're doing it to look attractive.
No, I wasn't shaking my head. Allergies messing with me. Go ahead, bro.
I think they're doing it to look attractive because that's what they were told is desirable in magazines and in movies and stuff. And since that's what we decided since that's what society says is attractive, that's what they're going to, because they've heard many of the prominent actors and athletes say that that's what they're looking for.
Man, brother. He said, "Who is it for?" It's not for us. I don't see brothers talking about, man, I love that weed.
Nobody wants weed. They want the long hair to be natural. So they're trying to make it,
But they don't have to have weave to make it natural and long.
Mm-hmm.
They just got to stop putting that stuff in their head.
It's instant. You got to go for the instant gratification. You got to get it now, I guess. But
brother. Okay. Man, this sounds terrible what I'm saying.
No.
It sounds horrible.
No, it doesn't. That's what we do.
Right. Even so you got there's fake hair that's all different kinds of colors. That's not I can't stand weed, period.
Red colored hair.
Yeah. But it's one thing if the hair texture was your own texture. You put somebody else's hair in your head and then talk about cultural appropriation. Because somebody of European descent put braids in their head as if Black people invented braiding.
Right.
Secondly, you got these eyelashes. They wave at you. They blow in the wind.
It's true. Yeah.
And then it's gonna sound bad. 80% overweight or obese. See, so you're not that they don't. I don't think I've come to the realization or the conclusion they don't care what we want. Well, you're gonna take me like this, and I'm not gonna change.
But somebody's steering that ship, though, right? Like somebody's leading the pack on what they deem to be, like Brother Elbert is saying. So, the weave is not for us. Of course, we're not looking like natural hair is beautiful. No matter what you got in your head, you got something you can keep yourself up. But somebody or something or the propaganda from somewhere is leading these women astray. They're following some suit, and the behind shots and all of these things that they were getting. Some of these women, hey, if I just eat a little more, might put on weight in, a few other places I don't want to put it, but it might go back there too. So you get, you know what I'm saying? To try to keep up with some of the things they can't afford, because you got these women who can't afford to go and get these surgical things to happen. These women have to take the other route. I'm not making no excuses for them, but I believe this is what they're doing. They're trying to keep.
So you saying a Brazilian butt lift or a Brazilian butt or a Big Mac?
Hey, if you can't afford the Brazilian butt lift, you can get the Big Mac 2 for $5.
Big Mac butt lift.
You guys killing me.
Bro,
hey, he got a point though, brother. Because I remember asking women about them baggy pants falling off of dudes' booties. I said, is that attractive? Because she's with this boy who got his drawers hanging off. And she's like, well, not really. And so you might have a point there. I don't know why these brothers dressed in them skin tight pants just hanging off of their booty too.
Oh man, they live in prison on the streets.
So once again, but okay, right. Where do these brothers get this as attractive? Because I don't think women find that to be attractive. So
I mean, that's something.
I was wondering where these forces is coming from. I thought I'm blaming it on programming.
It's outside of ourselves, I know that. Part of it. It's outside of ourselves, yeah. But yeah, I don't think that's really what black men want in particular. I don't even think that comes into the equation.
Yeah.
Because if it did, you would see things different. It would be different. But because we're not in a position of leadership in our community. Did this Negro go to the Bahamas?
That's what I'm saying, man. I'm trying to be with him.
I'm in a better place now.
Anyway, that just threw me off. Anyway, yeah, I think that I don't think they care what we want. I really don't think they care what we want. And
you saying they think they look attractive?
Well,
Dude,
man, you said, say that again, brother. I'm sorry, say that again.
They think that you're right. Now that you mentioned that hair, nobody wants red and blue hair on their.
I think part of that is rebellion. I think part of that is just rebellion. It goes right along with the attitude of I don't need a man. I don't have to answer to a man. I'm an independent woman. All that is rebellion against the older values. It doesn't matter who I sleep with. Talk to these younger women today.
I've heard that mess, yeah.
They say, well, man does this, I could do this. It's all rebellion. That goes right along with rebellion. When I go shopping, I'm talking about food shopping. It's an M&M, which is out here. It's the place where women get weave. Now, I go to two stores. I go to Aldi's and I go to Mine. I might go someplace else, but usually those are two. I stop and get certain things from Aldi's, and then I get the rest of most of the stuff from Mine. I go to Aldi's, brother. The M&M, which is just hair products, is in a much larger brick building. It's a much larger building than the Aldi's. It's so many people in that parking lot that there's an overflow. Every time I go, Monday through Friday, it's an overflow from the weave shop or from the M&M where they sell all the hair products to they park in all these parking lots. There's more people buying weave than buying vegetables. Matter of fact, I almost got in a car accident because I'm driving in this lane, the building, all this right here, M&M's right next to it. A woman trying to get in an M&M turned from right here. Now, there was no stop sign. There was no stoplight. We're driving and she just cut in front of me to turn into M&M from a different lane and jumped out the car and ran into M&M. That's and that's another thing. I think that.
I'll bring this up, man. I can go down the line in my family and name them off.
Name what up?
My brother, my uncle, my sons.
Oh, well, with women that are not black, you saying?
Yeah.
Okay. And have you talked to him about that?
Two of my sons, they said black women didn't want them. And
now say, hold on, time out. Say what you just said.
Black women didn't want them to.
Did you now?
That I'm gonna give you that one because they're nerdy.
Thank you. That's what I was saying earlier.
We big nerds. I'm gonna be honest with you about that.
That's what I was saying earlier.
But my cousin, he married a Puerto Rican girl, and because he never dated any sisters. And my cousin that played football up in Canada, he married a white girl. My uncle that played football in Canada married a white lady. But I've had conversations with some of them said that sisters ain't attractive. Now they might be taking in a lot of it from what they've seen like in movies, how they just make sisters loud and brash and everything. Maybe that was part of it, but yeah, the nerd part with my boys, because I asked my wife, I said, by today's standards, I think I am a nerd. Well, you know, because I don't understand the new imagery, you know, so I don't know what would happen if I had to start over.
Yeah, I mean, that I mean, they may have said that, and I'm sure it's obviously some men that think that, but I think a larger part of that is cooperation, and the fact that as far as attractiveness, you think it's just physical attractiveness, more women would be attracted to just black men. That's just what it is. What it is.
It's a little taboo tue, right? Isn't it? Like it's almost like taboo too, like that they come from that side to want to be with a man of color. Like
well,
that's
part
something.
I mean, part of it, you know, it's you know, the fetishing goes on in just amongst people in general, but in addition to just physical attractiveness, just physical attractiveness, the physicality of black men, the physical attractiveness. One of the things is that if you look at black men, they how they treat their women. See, they take more off of women because women have been running our communities for so long. So they're saying they're perceived as nicer.
Yeah.
That's in addition to the physicality.
Yeah.
If you think about it, look, and you say physicality, look at a football field, look at a basketball court.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I mean, and you don't see the same thing with like men who are Indian or Asian, but their women marry out more. You see what I'm saying? And are more desirable.
I've heard the Asian women say why.
Pardon me?
The Asian women say because their men are too small compared to what they can get in America. When they did an attractiveness study, said their men are smaller, unless they're actually going to stay with their parents or obey their parents. They're talking about physically, the physical stature.
Yeah. So,
Austin, like you gonna get in trouble again, Austin?
Oh, me?
I see you shaking your head when I made that guy. He's like, oh, he said that.
Nah, I'm just soaking up all the gems. Soaking up all the gems.
So I have a question.
Go ahead, brother.
So then, brothers like youngling like Austin, should they go back to the source, Africa, Ethiopia, where
So you gonna put them on a plane and send them to Eritrea? The thing, the thing is, your pool is small, quite frankly. What you want to find is a woman that fear the Lord. Yeah. That's what you can find. Because see, here's another thing. You can think that, oh, I'm gonna go here and find a woman and bring her here and marry her, and she gonna be westernized. Yep, it might already be westernized.
Yep. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was done. Go ahead.
I went to when I was in college, I used to go to engineering conventions.
Hold on, brother. Hold on. Stop. He said when he was in college, he graduated last week.
I was graduate, you know.
Back in the
got
day,
a little degree. They said,
day, you know, long time ago. Buffalo, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
But no, I used to go to the engineering conventions that they had for our organization, and the members, it was an international organization, so it would be members from Eritrea, it'd be members from Saudi, it'd be members from all over parts of Africa and stuff. And I remember when how the women would dress, and the conventions would last sometimes days, maybe a week or so. And so I remember how they would dress like the first day they got down there, and then like how quick they took all of that stuff off and started dressing like everybody else that was around. So a lot of that stuff would be they waiting for an opportunity to pop out. So.
To rebel.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. The dress, the hair, it's about rebellion. It's about rebellion. So yeah, that might not be the thing to do. Because you want to talk about someone like running gang, go down to these places, these square cats go down there and think they're gonna find something in Dominican Republic. And you end up out your money, you know, and compromise your health as well, trying to do something you shouldn't. Go ahead, brother. That brother said, go back to the source. Go back to Tanzania. Nah, brother, you need to find a woman that fears God. That's what you need, that truly fears him. Go ahead, brother. Isaiah, you saying something?
Yeah, that Dominican Republic is a big prostitution island.
Right.
Right. It didn't make no sense you go there.
Right. They see you coming a mile to 10 miles away. They see you coming off the plane. There's a square coming off that plane. He gonna be here about 2 hours. Yeah, you need to find a woman that fears God, that knows that has an inkling of what it is to be a wife, and that's gonna be a benefit to you. Otherwise, what's the point? And know your own value. You know, that's the thing. You don't take no mess. You know, don't take no mess. It's yeah, but we're in a bad way, man. Because you think about it, that's the foundation of a nation. The man and the woman. That one relationship is what the nation is built off of. And if the man and the woman can't get it together, people in trouble.
Yeah.
Your community's in trouble. Yeah, that's where we at. We in trouble. We in serious trouble right now. You know, we in serious trouble right now. It's a straight up war going on.
That's crazy. I have a quick question. Was that picture that we saw this morning about the mayonnaise a real picture?
I don't think so.
No, you think that's Photoshop?
You know what, brother? Who sent that? The brother who sent that?
I think it might have been Mo.
That was man. Let me see.
Was it Mo?
No.
Okay.
Because it was and I didn't even read what it said at first. Where it said smooth and sassy. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, that was Brother Mo.
Okay, that's what made me think. Wait a minute. Because see, at first I thought that was his hand holding it.
Right. Me too.
I think that was
some good editing. Somebody did some good.
Some nonsense. Yeah, but I don't know for sure. But I did. I was like, wait a minute, is this real?
Real.
Now, in 2017, that company did have put some recipe out for in honor of Gay Pride Month with like they had a sandwich with like mayonnaise, pickles, and these sprinkles. Right? That was one of the recipes they put out or something like that, which I'm like, what? But as far as that smooth and sassy, or was it
sassy? Smooth and sassy.
Smooth and sassy. Him, I don't know if that's real. Cause I couldn't find. I was like, wait a minute, man. They really did this?
I can't even have a straight sandwich.
That's why I say you can't have a straight sandwich. It's mayonnaise. I'm like, wait a minute, man.
You see the video that I sent? The Nickelodeon thing?
I didn't see it.
I saw the thumbnail. I didn't see it though.
Yeah,
what was it, brother?
It was a video that Nickelodeon playing for our kids, for I guess Pride Week. Got a dude dressed up singing to the kids. That's what I said. They're going after the kids hard. Nickelodeon, which is MTV, right? Yeah. I saw that. My son sent me that when we was talking.
Yeah, nah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I said, let me show these brothers this video, because I said this was it went with the rainbow, the rainbow stuff you sent. You see.
Oh no, brother.
Yeah, you looking at the dude now?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I would be offended.
That's crazy. Get
Yeah.
that off my phone.
So you can't even let your kid watch TV without being
You
in
have
the
to
room.
monitor everything. You have to monitor everything.
Everything. It's changed. Things have changed. Yeah, things have changed fast. Like you said, my kids are grown now, but they still as dominant figures I was in the household. There's still power outside the house and forces outside that was greater than me, you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the world.
Yes.
It's the world, you know.
I would just show up at their school unannounced and stuff to keep them off the edge, you know what I'm saying? Keep them nervous. So,
Yeah, my mother used to do that.
Yeah.
When I was younger.
Yeah.
Kind of like, well, I could have went either way. About 12 years old, you know, she just show up at the school, you know. But
my wife took a day off and went to when he was in middle school and went from class to class with him.
Boy, that's some embarrassing stuff there. Mama or your father come with man or come to class. Woo!
He was following
Best behavior then.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You was acting before they came.
Yeah.
Man.
I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know what we're gonna do.
Yeah. Any brothers have anything else?
No, sir.
No, sir.
I appreciate y'all, brothers. We're probably gonna shut it down. And appreciate y'all. And I don't know if we're gonna say this topic because we never did get to the
What was the topic?
Yeah, we had a topic.
I sent you it was in the text.
Let me see real quick.
Text was I touched upon it for about 5 seconds. I talked about the current events that we were gonna talk about. We talked about those, but they're the one about the in the word.
Family structure in the Bible.
Yep.
That's the most important thing, you know, besides serving the Lord. That family structure that the Bible.
Well, it was a lesson like from from about men and women from the Bible. And what made me think about it, because I listen to the audio, you know, Bible at times, and just listening to the narrative of First and Second Samuel, and just the things that were going on with like what made me think about it, and Job, but also First and Second Samuel made me think about what's going on with David.
Yeah.
And McCall and David and Abigail. And you know, it's like, man. And how Saul gave McCall to David to be a snare unto him.
Right.
That's what I was saying earlier, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. In addition to what you were saying earlier about some important lessons, I think that one thing that the Bible also showed me was like the control or the bonding of the flesh when it comes to like sex out of marriage, because when you're not dealing with none of that, you could see obviously you know what you're getting yourself into when you're dealing with other people, or you could just see people just you don't necessarily have to meet them, but you know the things that they have on, the way they conduct their behavior and stuff like that. So it becomes a lot more easier for you to maneuver through the traps and stuff. So
yeah, because you're thinking clearly. you realize you're looking down the line and realizing that, hold on, this will have long-term implications.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of men get caught up with having babies and stuff like that. And you know, it's hard.
Lack of knowledge, man. It's a lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
True lack of knowledge has destroyed us.
Yeah, you got to protect your seed. You got to protect it. It's not for it. I mean, you just, man, you don't think like that, but especially, man, today, man, so much stuff is going on. Like, it's dangerous out here.
Yeah.
Real talk. It's dangerous out here, man. So
how was it for like because I've never seen how was it for y'all as far as like men women relationships for the older people when y'all were like my age? Because like I hear y'all I hear us talk about the things that's going on now and stuff like that, but like what were the dynamics when you all were growing up?
Did he just call us old?
No. Something
Back
like
in the
that.
30s, how was it when the Harlem Renaissance?
When they had
the new Negro movement, how was it back then?
Yo,
wigs.
Austin asked this wonderful question 2 hours and 30 minutes later. And you know how many people gonna answer this question in full detail, an hour apiece?
True, very true, very true.
I'm just saying this is a deep question. It's a good one.
You might have to say that one for the vote.
It sounds like it. That's a good question, bro.
That's up to the brother, man.
It's 11:38 where he at.
I mean, I'm not cutting it short, but you. No, yeah, that's a good question. That's just something that I'm pretty sure us men coming into the world probably late could definitely elaborate on something like that, you know.
Yeah, because I ain't never seen y'all world, you know. So
it was that different.
I don't know, yeah.
It's very different.
Brother.
I mean, I'm a little older than you. I'm about 5 months older than you. So
this is what I tell you. Just brief. If you got a slow dance with a girl you didn't know, that was considered a big deal. About 15 years ago, I seen a house party with middle school kids. And I was like, y'all can do all that?
Yeah, slow down. I'm thinking like, when was this? Yeah, it's not.
Back in my day, if the girl slow dance with you, you was doing something. That's how
Funny
much
is slow dance.
Things have changed.
I see what you're saying. Nah, yeah, these kids, nah, man, yeah, slow dance.
Yeah, it's a free for all now. Freak Nick in middle school now, you know. You don't remember Freak Nick?
I've been the Freak Nick. I know you do.
I mean, Austin's younger. They had to shut that down. Okay. All right. My bad. Yeah, it's got a lot worse now, man.
It's different. It was different. And then that depending on where you were at. You know what I'm saying? Like your college experience, my college experience was total opposite. Mine was extreme. You know, I was in a frat as a freshman, and it was just extreme. Like I said, we partied from Wednesday to Sunday. And that's what I said. That's what I thought I was gonna do. I'm gonna be a club owner because I was used to renting out clubs. And that's what I thought. I said, man, I want to do this as a profession, but or as a, make some money. But yeah, and then that too is different. It was different because in college, if you it's like certain things you do, your interaction with women is way different. Like if you are a athlete, or if you're in a frat, your interactions are totally different. Totally different. So I just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Being extreme. It's but that's not the real world. Like college is not the real world. So that's what I'm saying. It's different. It's because it's the clout that comes from those things. It's not like you got real money. It's just like you're getting clout and status from what you are on campus. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah, I
different.
see.
It's different. But I don't know if anybody else want to expound on that. Even like you said, that might be a long answer. So you could just
Hold on. So I'll hold off to the next show, Lord willing.
yeah. All right, with that being said, brother, we'll shut it down.
Good to see you guys. Peace, brothers.
Same here, family.
Yeah,
Good
good to
talking
see
to you all.
Peace, brothers.
Peace.
Lord willing, see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Bible study. Yeah, we need it. Yes.
Yes, sir. Peace.
All right, peace.